gentlemen, Doom Patrol, episode 9, Immortimas. Day! Your boy Icon with a DC TV review for you, and goddamn, this was a good episode. And I'm legitimately shocked because usually I'm like 50-50 on musical episodes, like whenever there's musicals. Well, the Supergirl Flash one was really good, but whenever there's a musical episode, I usually like roll my eyes or something. But when that opening theme kicked in and they was doing that shit pitch perfect style, I was like, damn, this is gonna be some shit. And it was some shit. Could have, like, they better put that out on like iTunes or something, because I mean the entire musical score for this was just off the chain. But as I said, it's Immortimas Day, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get into some Doom Patrol. Now, obviously, because majority of it was done in song, we can't review everything the way it was actually said. But let's just go over like some of the important stuff, and then we'll move on to the big reveal, the big showdown at the end. So again, in the last episode, the episode starts. We're trapped in Immortimas Day, and in the last episode, we saw that when the Doom Patrol got awarded for saving Isabel, she lost her shit. She got mad because they were going to give the Doom Patrol the key to the city, and then she was like, "Hey, what about me?" And then she screamed, and then she used her power to trap every single person into an alternate reality where everybody sings. She basically pulled a WandaVision by trapping everybody in this whole thing. So everybody wakes up, it's Immortimas Day. It's the day where we all praise Immortimas and kiss her derriere, like Jane is dancing, everybody dancing. Now here's the thing about the opening dance sequence. I enjoyed the sequence. I love the opening sequence. Everybody got a chance to shine. Even Cliff's character, who clearly was the worst dancer of everybody in the group, because they kept putting him in the background of all the dancing. And when you look at him compared to everybody else, his dance choreography wasn't as smooth as everyone else's. But the whole time I'm thinking, like, Vic got a chance to shine, like Dorothy got a chance to shine. Out of all people, you would think that the one character who would have had a solo moment in this entire episode would have been Rita Farr. Entertainer extraordinaire, Rita Farr. How does Rita not get a solo, in an episode like this? But she did a duet with Madame Rouge. Madame Rouge is killing it. I'm loving Madame Rouge this season. Like I said, we're singing about Immortimas Day. Everybody's talking about how it's the greatest day of all time. They're teasing something. They're teasing like a love interest with Casey and with Jane. I'm not seeing that. I hope, hopefully when we get back into the real world, that doesn't trickle over, because I said, I'm not seeing it. And it's just that just came off kind of forced. But the two of them, in a Immortimas world, the two of them kind of have a thing for each other. Larry, he looks he looks like how he normally looks, like he doesn't have the burns on him. Keeg is still around. He's still flying around with them. Cliff, he's back to normal, and Cliff can feel again, because while Cliff is trapped in this Immortimas world, Cliff is embracing the fact that he's once again regained his sense of touch. Like, he can touch things again. He's like, he can pee again. He did a whole song about how he was about to masturbate. And then when he was singing about, he was basically singing about it, and then Madame Rouge heard him. She came in the room, and then she was just like, Cliff, what are you doing? She was like, nothing. And she was like, sounds like you're singing about your dick. That was funny. So I said, but he's embracing the world because he can touch things again. Like, he has his sense of feeling back. But then when they were doing the duet, when Rita and Madame Rouge were doing the duet together, there was a moment where the two of them were filling out cards for Immortimas Day. They were stamping cards for Immortimas Day. And while they were doing their song, Madame Rouge was stamping certain cards, and then she got a memory flashback about when she used to work for the old government agency and how she was stamping everybody into weapon. Doing that helped her get her memories back, and she actually remembered who she was and what was going on. So Madame Rouge, once again, she's the first person to figure out the Immortimas lie, and she's been able to see that throughout this entire season. Every time Immortimas does some shit, Madame Rouge is the only person that knows what's going on. So Madame Rouge was the first to get her memories back. After she busted it on Cliff trying to whack the weasel, she ended up looking at some of the tapes that Cliff was looking at, and she saw the actual footage of the real Doom Patrol interviews when they were talking to Niles Coulter. So now Madame Rouge is just like, fuck. So she knows this, and that was funny too. Because when they were doing the duet and she got her memories back, and then they were just like, let's sing the chorus, and then Madame Rouge was like, shit, fucking shit. The sex ghosts were here too, and I'm like, why are the sex ghosts here? But the sex ghosts were the backup dancers and the backup singers, which was equally as hilarious. But now Madame Rouge has her memories back. She's the first that realizes that Immortimas Day is nothing but a total and complete lie. The first person person, however, that she brings the memory back to was Larry. And I thought that was kind of strange, but whatever. Larry, he was getting ready for his date because Agent 104, the combustible man, him and Larry in this world, they're a couple, they're an item. And on Immortimas Day, Larry's going to introduce him to the rest of the Doom Patrol as his boyfriend. But when Madame Rouge saw him and she was like, come with me for a second, she's like, I have to show you something on the footage. And then when she showed him the footage and he saw the footage of him, who he really was, he got his memories back. And then he was just like, shit, this whole thing is a lie. So then he immediately put his bandages back on. And then that's when Madame Rouge called the entire team in to have a meeting. While they were having the meeting, she told everybody, like, listen, we're secretly a team called the Doom Patrol. And then everybody started laughing and they said she was crazy. And then Rita was like, she was just like, oh, I'll have none of this. She was like, it's so ridiculous. And then she told Rita to step out the room for a second. Her and Dorothy left. Actually, Casey left too. And then when the three of them left, that's when Madame Rouge showed the rest of the team the footage of who they really were. And then they all got their memories back. Like Jane got her memory back. Cliff got his memories back. Cliff was actually very pissed about that. And then even with Cyborg, they didn't have footage of Cyborg, but Madame Rouge just told him, she was just like, yo, you're fucking Cyborg. She's like, that's who you are. You're a superhero. And then he got his memories back. He's like, holy shit, this place isn't real. But then after that, he went and he spoke to Dorothy and he told Dorothy that it wasn't real. And then when Dorothy came to her senses, she was just like, but why would we not want to stay? Because she's like, we're all together for a holiday feast. And she's like, we never get together as a family. And then that's when, Vic was just like, yeah, but the shit's not real. But she didn't really care. Jane ended up telling Casey that it wasn't real. And then Casey was just like, well, I've been pulled out of reality before, so it's no big deal. But then Jane's whole thing was, she was like, well, now that I got my memories back, she said that this whole thing between me and you, she's like, it's not really going to work because I got 64 people floating around in my head. She was like, the relationship thing doesn't really work for me. Casey got a little dejected and then the two of them walked off. Rita was the last person to find out. And that would have been the perfect moment for Rita Farr, of all people, to have a solo in the singing episode of the Doom Patrol, but she didn't get that. But instead, she saw the footage, and then when she got her memories back, she had said to Madame Rouge, she was like, why didn't you tell me with the others? And then Madame Rouge was just like, she was like, I didn't want to cause you any more pain. She's like, I've done enough. But I'm like, but you showed her the footage anyway. But then after that, she was just like, well, this is how we're trapped, this is our life now. And then she was like, no, she's like, we got to do something about it. Because the problem was, half the team wanted to stay and the other half wanted to leave. Larry didn't want to leave. His boyfriend came in. He told his boyfriend it wasn't real. His boyfriend was like, so what? She was like, but we're happy here. He was like, you and I can be together, in here. Now the whole team was mixed up and everybody's divided. And then Immortimas shows up. So Isabel shows up at the front door and then everybody was just like, Rita told everybody, she was like, look, goddammit. She said, let's just get through today and then we'll figure out what we're going to do tomorrow. So when they bring Immortimas in, Isabel comes in and she's like, praise me on Immortimas Day. And then they're all sitting at the table. While they're sitting at the table, this was the narcissistic kissing your ass moment where Isabel basically told everybody to go down the line and say something great about her on Immortimas Day. And then Cliff the whole time, he's trying to get everybody to, to say these positive things. And then Madame Rouge was just like, she was like, fuck it. She was just like, I appreciate you, for giving me a place to wipe my taint, like the day that I kicked you down the hole and pissed all over your grave. And then she got a little upset. And then she was just like, oh, you're a fucking loser. And then Madame Rouge was just like, oh, she was like, you can't do anything right, because you're a piece of shit villain. And then that's when, she used her power to try to choke Madame Rouge. She put Madame Rouge's hand to her own throat and proceeded to choke her. And then Rita stepped in and then Rita was like, well, I have something to say. And then she was just like, you narcissistic bitch. She's like, what I'm grateful for is that I am in no way, shape, or form like you because I used to be you and I don't want to be you anymore because you're pathetic. And then after that, that's when Rita went on her monologue, Larry was just like, God damn it. And then, then after that, then she was just like, well, does anybody else have anything they want to say? And then that's when Cliff was like, praise Immortimas. But then Dorothy was just like, she was like, no. She was like, I'm over 100 years old and I've never actually lived in the real world. She was like, Immortimas Day is just another prison, and she's like, I didn't want to be trapped in prison anymore. So she said the nay. And then after that, Larry said no, his boyfriend said no. And then Cyborg was like, no, he was like, I'm out of here too. Because earlier in the episode, Cyborg had his little monologue, his solo sing-along where he was talking about how he loves the Doom Patrol and he wants to be around the Doom Patrol. But then, everybody, that was funny too because everybody kept interrupting Vic when he was trying to do his solo. And I have to give the actor, because the actor that plays Cyborg, he's British in real life. He has a full-blown accent and everything. So not only kudos to him for being able to pull off an American accent, but kudos to him to be able to pull off an American accent while singing a song. That was legitimately very impressive. But then while he was doing his song, everybody kept interrupting him. Even Madame Rouge, when he was singing, Madame Rouge came out, she was like, Vic, you good? She's like, I don't know what you're doing over there, but he was just like, yeah. She's like, well, I'm gonna let you go back to singing your song. And then he came in. So now everybody's at the table. They tell Immortimas, well, Jane told Immortimas where she can shove it, and then Immortimas got mad, threw a temper tantrum, and then that's when shit hit the fan. So right out the gate, we're not even supposed to call her Isabel anymore because like Larry had called her Isabel and she spazzed out. She was like, it's Immortus. But then when everybody told her that she can go fuck herself and they said that they no longer wanted to be trapped in Immortimas land, she got up, used her magical powers to control them, and then that's when Thriller 2.0 kicked in. And I'm sorry, this song was absolute fire. And the thing about the song, like, you're all doomed. The thing about it, they use the Doom Patrol theme in that song, because even if you listen to the ending credits, when the song is playing in the ending credits, at the end of the song you hear that like the Doom Patrol jingle. I like y'all managed to take the Doom Patrol jingle and turned it into one of the spookiest, like most badassest evil villain songs of all time. So she's controlling them. They're doing a musical number. She's telling them to their face that you guys are fucked, like AKA doomed, because they're the Doomed Patrol. And then after she did her song and I'm sorry, that shit was good. That shit was really good. After she did her song and dance, because even Rita had asked her at one point, she was just like, are you gonna kill us? And then she was like, I don't have to, because you're all doomed. And with that, towards the end of the song, she pointed to 104, the exploding man, the combustible man. She pointed to him, and then she said, "You're about to blow, my dude." And then she kind of like moved him off to the side, and even he kind of reacted to the point where he was just like, "Who, me specifically?" Which says to me, whatever her plan is, like whatever Isabel is planning, however she's going to exact her revenge for the entire Doom Patrol basically rejecting her. However she plans on getting her revenge, it involves him, because I just feel like for her to say that line, for her to make that statement, she said that for a reason. Like, there's a reason why she specifically said, you're about to blow. And I know he's the combustible man, but I think she's going to use the fact that he's a combustible person and he can change his elements, whatever. She's going to use that to her advantage to try to, like, destroy the Doom Patrol or torch the Doom Patrol. So that was, and then after that, then, she sent them back to the real world. And of course, they all look old. Everybody's back to normal because their longevity's gone. And then there was like a photo left behind that she signed where she said, you guys are fucked. I'm going to kill you all. I'm gonna punish you, to the fullest extent of my power in the very next episode. That's how this particular episode ended. And for the love of God, thank you for tuning in. So, like I said, the shit was fire. Like, the episode was fire, and kudos to the choreography, kudos to the singing. Everybody that sung their own songs, like, kudos to them. I'm not always a fan of, like, musical episodes, but this particular music episode, like I said, I thought it was the shit. So share your questions, comments, and or concerns down below. Hit me up on Twitter and or Instagram, always on YouTube, where you can leave your questions, comments, and or concerns, because, like I said, we only got 4 episodes left of the Doom Patrol, and I'm here for all of it. Check out my Loki reviews. Check out my Comic-Con footage too, because I'm back from New York Comic-Con. I got sick after New York Comic-Con, so I'm getting over a cold, but I'm still here to provide you guys with that great entertainment and that great content that I hope you all enjoy. And thank you for everybody that subscribed to me. I love you all dearly. So that was it, guys. Like I said, hit the notification bell, like it, or subscribe. Until next time, you're all doomed, but not when you watch. But as entertainment, until next week for some more Doom Patrol action. Take care, and we're out this. Bye.